Hi, I'm Lucas. I've always been a peacekeeper, the guy who smooths things over when tensions rise. That quality served me well in most situations, except when it came to my parents. Babe, what time are we supposed to drop Emma off tomorrow? Megan called from the kitchen where she was helping our daughter with breakfast. Around 4. Victor and Patricia insisted we come early so they could properly settle in. I rolled my eyes while adjusting my tie. 7 years married to the most amazing woman, and my parents still treated her like a temporary fixture in my life. Daddy, can I bring Mr. Snuggles to Grandma and Grandpa's? Emma bounded into the room, her pigtails bouncing with each step. Of course, Princess. You can bring whatever makes you comfortable. I scooped her up, savoring the giggle that followed. Just not your entire stuffed animal collection, Megan added with a knowing smile. Remember what happened last time? But they were lonely, Emma protested. The doorbell rang, interrupting our morning routine. My stomach tightened. They weren't supposed to arrive until tomorrow. They're early. Megan's voice dropped to a whisper. I opened the door to find my parents standing there, matching designer luggage at their feet. Patricia's critical gaze immediately swept our living room. The neighborhood's gone downhill since we last visited, she remarked, brushing past me. Hello to you too, Mom. Victor clasped my shoulder. Son, we thought we'd come early. Give you kids some extra time for your celebration. That's thoughtful. I forced a smile. But we weren't expecting you until tomorrow. Surprise! Patricia sang out, already inspecting our family photos on the mantel. Oh, Emma looks so pale in this one. Is she getting enough sun? Megan appeared from the kitchen, wiping her hands on a towel. We were actually planning to spend today as a family before our anniversary weekend. Nonsense, Patricia waved dismissively. We hardly get time with our granddaughter. Besides, we're doing you a favor. Grandma. Emma ran in for a hug, oblivious to the tension. There's my girl. Patricia's tone changed completely. Has Mommy been feeding you those processed foods again? I caught Megan's eye, silently apologizing. She gave me a tight smile that said we'll talk later. We brought presents, Victor announced, pulling out a wrapped package. You didn't have to do that, I said. Of course we did. It's what good grandparents do. The implication hung in the air. While Emma opened her gift, another expensive toy she'd lose interest in within days, Megan took their overnight bag to the guest room. I busied myself making coffee, hoping to avoid another round of subtle jabs. A few minutes later, Megan appeared in the doorway, her face drained of color. She motioned for me to join her. Honey, could you help me with something? Her voice was casual, but her eyes screamed urgency. I followed her into the hallway, out of earshot. What's wrong? Megan gripped my arm, her fingers digging into my skin. Don't move, she whispered, glancing toward the living room where my parents were entertaining Emma. There's something you need to see. Megan pulled me into the guest bedroom and quietly shut the door. Her hands were shaking as she pointed to their open overnight bag. Look at this. Inside the bag, nestled between folded clothes, were 3 tiny cameras, a voice recorder, and a leather-bound notebook. I picked up one of the devices, my blood turning cold. What the hell? They're spy cameras, Lucas. And this, Megan opened the notebook, flipping through pages of my mother's meticulous handwriting. She's been documenting everything. Look at the title, Evidence of Megan's Parental Negligence. My eyes scanned the pages. Notes about Emma's diet, bedtime routines, even how often Megan checked her homework. Every minor parenting decision criticized and twisted. This goes back months, I whispered. But how? Remember when Patricia accidentally left her phone recording during Thanksgiving? Or when Victor insisted on fixing that light fixture in Emma's room? Megan's voice cracked. They've been building a case against me. Memories flooded back. Patricia questioning why Emma didn't wear a jacket when it was 70 degrees outside. Victor commenting that Emma seemed underdeveloped compared to his friend's grandchildren. The time they showed up unannounced because they were worried after seeing Emma's scraped knee in a photo. I knew they didn't like me, but we need to confront them. I felt something snap inside me, years of keeping peace crumbling in an instant. What's taking so long in there? Patricia's voice called from the hallway. We quickly replaced everything except one camera and the notebook as evidence. When we returned to the living room, Emma was showing Victor her school art project. There you are. We were starting to wonder if you two were having a little anniversary celebration early. Patricia winked, her face a mask of innocence. We need to talk, I said, my voice steadier than I expected. Emma, sweetie, can you go play in your room for a bit? After she left, I placed the camera on the coffee table. Patricia's smile vanished. What is this? You know exactly what it is, Mom. We found your little surveillance kit and your notebook. Victor straightened up. Now, son, don't jump to conclusions. Cut the crap. You've been documenting Megan's parenting to build some kind of case against her. We're simply concerned about our granddaughter's well-being, Patricia sniffed. If you weren't so blinded by whatever this is, you'd see it too. Whatever this is? You mean my marriage, my family? We've watched you throw away your potential for years, Victor growled, and now Emma is paying the price. How dare you? Megan stepped forward. I've done nothing but love your son and our daughter. Patricia laughed coldly. Love doesn't feed a child properly or provide structure. We've seen how you coddle her. That's called parenting, not coddling, I shot back. Victor stood up, towering over us. We've consulted with an attorney. Grandparents' rights are real, son. If you won't protect Emma, we will. Joint custody arrangements can be established when a parent is deemed unfit. The room went silent. Megan gripped my hand so tight it hurt. Get out. My voice was low. Lucas, think about what you're doing, Patricia pleaded. We're your parents. And Megan is my wife. Emma is our daughter, not yours. Get out of our house or I'll call the police. Victor's face darkened. This isn't over. You'll regret choosing her over your family. I'm not choosing her over my family. I'm choosing my family over you. After my parents left, we called Sarah, Megan's college roommate, who now worked as a family attorney. She examined the notebook with a grim expression. This is bad. They've been documenting for months and contacted a custody evaluator. Can they actually get custody? Megan asked, voice shaking. Not custody, but court-mandated visitation is possible. These grandparents' rights cases are becoming more common and your parents have resources. My phone buzzed with a text from my sister Natalie. Mom called me ranting. What happened? An hour later, Natalie joined our video call. I'm not surprised, she sighed. They did the same to my ex-husband. Convinced him I was unstable for choosing art over law. Why didn't you tell me? You were their golden child, Lucas. They didn't target you the same way. I have an idea. Megan sat up straighter. What if we give them what they want? Access to Emma, but on our terms. Sarah nodded. A controlled environment where we can document their behavior. We'll need them to think they're alone with her, Natalie added. Remember how they always sent us out of the room as kids? The plan came together quickly. We'd set up legal surveillance in our home, focusing on Emma's playroom. Megan and I would fake an argument, then suggest my parents watch Emma while we worked things out. 3 days later, everything was in place. Sarah monitored the feeds while we staged our fight in the kitchen. I can't believe you're still defending them, Megan shouted convincingly. They're my parents. I can't just cut them off, I yelled back, winking at her. We stomped to the living room where Victor and Patricia waited. We're going for a drive to cool off. Can you watch Emma? Of course, Patricia practically glowed. Take all the time you need. We drove around the block and slipped back through the side door. On the monitors, Victor and Patricia were kneeling beside Emma. Sweetheart, does Mommy ever forget to feed you? Patricia asked sweetly. No, I always get breakfast and lunch and dinner. But what about snacks? Is Mommy ever too busy on her phone? Sometimes she's working. See, that's what I mean, Patricia nodded. And does Daddy have to remind Mommy to do things for you? Victor leaned closer. Remember when you were hungry after school? Would you tell the nice lady who might visit about that? But I wasn't hungry. I just wanted candy and Mommy said dinner first. No, sweetie, you were hungry. Mommy forgot to pack enough lunch. That's not true, Emma frowned. My lunch was fine. You just don't remember correctly, Patricia insisted. Wouldn't you like to stay with Grandma and Grandpa more? We'd give you all the snacks you want. Sarah looked up from her laptop. We've got everything we need. We decided to strike during Victor and Patricia's annual Labor Day barbecue. Every year, they invited the entire extended family to show off their perfect lives. This year would be different. Are you sure you want to do this publicly? Megan squeezed my hand as we pulled into my parents' driveway. They've been publicly undermining you for years. It's time everyone sees who they really are. Inside, Uncle Dave slapped my back while Aunt Cheryl cooed over how big Emma had grown. Patricia was holding court by the pool, sharing stories of her recent charity work. So glad you could make it, Victor appeared with drinks. We weren't sure after our misunderstanding. Wouldn't miss it, I smiled tightly. Family is everything, right? After lunch, Sarah arrived right on cue, laptop in hand. I clinked my glass for attention. Everyone, I'd like to say something. The yard fell silent. Patricia beamed, probably expecting some reconciliation speech. My parents have always presented themselves as pillars of the community and perfect grandparents, but there's another side to them I think you should see. Sarah connected her laptop to the outdoor TV. Patricia's face drained of color. What is this nonsense? Victor stepped forward. Just letting family see family, I replied. The video played. Victor and Patricia coaching Emma to lie about Megan's parenting, followed by clips from their previous visits where they undermined Megan in subtle ways. Then came the notebook entries, meticulously documenting their campaign against my wife. They've been building a case to try for grandparents' rights, I explained, as stunned relatives watched. They planted recording devices in our home. You're twisting things, Patricia sputtered. We were just concerned about Emma. By teaching our 5-year-old to lie? Megan stepped forward. By secretly recording in our home? Cousin Beth stood up. You did the same thing with my kids 3 years ago, always questioning my parenting, offering to take them for extended visits. And you tried to convince my husband I was having an affair, Natalie added, having flown in specially for this confrontation. We were protecting our family, Victor thundered, something you clearly don't understand. No, Dad, you were controlling your family. There's a difference. One by one, relatives shared similar experiences they dismissed as Victor and Patricia being overprotective. The floodgates had opened. Aunt Cheryl collected her purse. I think we'll be going now. I can't support this behavior. By evening, the house had emptied. Victor and Patricia sat alone at their perfectly arranged patio table. We only wanted what was best. Patricia's voice had lost its edge. We can change. We're sorry. An apology doesn't erase years of manipulation, I said. The restraining order we filed this morning stands. You'll be served tomorrow. A restraining order against your own parents? Victor looked genuinely shocked. The recordings in our home qualify as harassment. Sarah made sure of it. You can't cut us off from Emma, Patricia pleaded. We're her grandparents. You lost that privilege when you tried to take her from us. 3 months later, we celebrated Emma's 6th birthday at our home. Natalie flew in with her new boyfriend. Sarah brought her kids. Megan's parents drove up from Florida. Make a wish, sweetheart, Megan said as Emma blew out her candles. Looking around at the people who truly loved us, who supported rather than undermined, I realized Emma already had everything she needed. No manipulation, no toxic love, just genuine family. When Victor and Patricia sent a lavish gift, we donated it unopened. Some relationships aren't worth saving, no matter how much blood you share. What would you have done in Lucas's position? Would you have completely cut off your parents like he did? Or would you have given them another chance after their apology? At what point does protecting your immediate family outweigh blood relationships? Share your thoughts in the comments below. If stories about standing up to toxic family members resonate with you, hit that like button and subscribe for more content that explores complicated family dynamics. I post new stories every day that dive into the messy reality of dealing with difficult relationships and the courage it takes to choose yourself.